Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video on the Apple mini series that we have going on the channel. If you are new to the channel, I am an investor who has invested in Apple, and I also like to just make content about all the news and Apple stock, releases that come out. I'm a very big fan of everything that they do, the products they put out, and the mission that they are on to change the entire face of this planet. My name is Tyler Hill, and in today's video, we will be going over some very important and exciting news that has been released from Apple recently. I think it'll be a really big game changer for the whole company over the next coming months, and I'm very excited to bring this to you. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel and you do find this video useful or entertaining, you could also let me know that you enjoyed it by hitting that subscribe button. And if you do have any videos you'd like to see me put out in the future, let me know down in the comment section. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's hop straight into the video. Earlier today, Apple released that they are having an event on October 13th. This event will take place at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. on Eastern time. Due to the ongoing pandemic, it will also be online. So once again, it'll be like a meeting or an online call that you can go ahead and join and check out all the new updates. Now, the invite that the press did release comes with the words high, speed. So if one can, kind of gather everything that we've gotten recently, we can go ahead and make the assumption that this will finally be the new release and the new update on what's going on with the 5G compatible phones. Now, one reason that I do believe that this is super duper important is the fact that we saw the reaction that the market had whenever Apple didn't release any 5G compatible phones or give us really any update about it in the last event. The last event was one that everyone was looking forward to, me included. I thought that it was going to be the super big thing, and well, it was just remotely underwhelming. I feel like a lot of us were hoping, just minorly in our hearts, that we would get a little bit of input or a little bit of feedback on what's going on with 5G and what's going on with the new phones. We didn't get that in the market. It reflected that. Apple stock did suffer a big drop, well, a medium drop at that, but it definitely suffered a drop, and it showed that people were expecting it and people are looking forward to it. The reason that I believe that that is important is because if this event is in fact the one that's going to go ahead and let us know, like, boom, this is what we have going on. We got the iPhones, we got this, we got that, 5G compatible. That could be very, very significant, and that could, be the trigger for a lot of investors to jump in the stock, which could, maybe, who knows, spark this big bull run that, Apple could go on. Can't really speculate on that, and it's all hypothetical, but it can be clear to say that whenever, the last event didn't produce it, it went down. So if this event produces it, could be a good, theory in sense that it could result in a very green day. But once again, that is all hypothetical. I'm not a financial advisor, so do not take this as financial advice to go ahead and buy Apple now. Totally up to you, but me personally, I'm buying as much as I can possibly get. Now, we can make the reasonable assumption that this will definitely be the release of the new iPhones, because in the last meeting, they did release the iPad and the new Apple Watch series. So it's kind of, this is the real big thing left. And the fact that they're calling a meeting so soon about it and talking about high speed, it's very reasonable to infer that this is going to be the release of the iPhone. It's something that I've been looking forward to. I have a really old beat up iPhone right now, so maybe I'm looking forward to getting the new one, especially if it's 5G compatible and it can help me out with, some higher speeds, especially in a big time where online is everything. The higher speeds you have, the faster you can take them crazy quizzes that everybody loves to take. And, that speed is definitely going to be a necessity. And the fact that Apple is potentially going to be putting that out could just be a very, very significant aspect to their business. Now, based off news we are getting from the press, we are expecting Apple to release 4 new iPhone 12 models this year. We're expecting the release of 2 regular iPhone 12s and 2 iPhone 12 Pros to go along with those. They did also release that they are expecting that the new iPhone 12 designs will have a bit of a sharper edge, which is going to mirror the new iPads that have come out recently. So that'll definitely be something new. A lot of the ones have been a bit more rounded. So maybe a little bit of a new design could definitely make give a little bit of a refreshing feeling or have this new relief in a new design. One cool thing that they are releasing about one of the new iPhone 12s is that one of them will have a 3D sensor, which will allow them to do augmented reality. Now, this is a new wave that's going on right now. It's a bit of a better version of virtual reality, in my opinion. So this definitely could be a very cool thing to add to the new iPhone, especially with new games coming out that are going to be using this augmented reality. And it could once again be this new refreshing and relieving thing that's going to be added into the Apple iPhone. They are also expecting that there will be 3 new cameras being released in the Apple iPhone. I personally cannot fathom what in the world they could possibly do at this point to make them even better, but I know there's a lot of social media, personalities and characters that take advantage of these iPhones, and they really love their cameras. They're a bit of a replacement of your average camera nowadays. I know people taking actual photography simply on their iPhones, and if they can continue to put out even better quality and better products, that can be a very significant factor to their business business once again. Once again, I do believe that this is going to be very important, that it does support the 5G compatibility. If for some odd reason they say it doesn't, I feel like that will absolutely send Apple to the ground. That will be really, really bad in the short term. But honestly, I'm 100% at this point expecting that it will, especially with the whole high speed thing. But with that being said, I do believe that this is going to be the very first step in a very new, this new introduction to 5G to society. Everyone that I know, the majority of people that I have encountered that have smartphones typically have Apple iPhones. And if Apple does start to release that 5G compatibility in these phones that support 5G, I feel like that's going to really be the first step at introducing 5G to modern day society. People are going to start to use it, and I feel like people are going to then become more susceptible to it, and they're going to really enjoy it. So with that being said, that could spark an uptrend in certain stocks that do, have these ties to 5G. And I could really start to see that from this event, and once they really do once again introduce it, that we could start to see 5G starting to be talked about a little bit more to the average person who may not keep up with the stock market, or people just in general who are the average day person who's just checking it out, having these new smartphones and starting to really pay attention to these new networks. Now, with that being said about the new event that Apple's going on, there's a little bit more details that go into it, but that's just the main gist of everything. And the reason that I'm definitely looking forward to this event, and what they say about this event could be very beneficial or detrimental to the company, and we will just have to keep a close eye on what they say in this event. I'll be tuned in, and I'm sure most of you guys will be as well. Now, with that being out the way, I wanted to go ahead and talk about an interesting statistic that I did come across about Apple, and the reason why I'm buying even more shares even today. Now, if you are an investor in Apple especially, but if you do follow the stock market, you know that Apple's down somewhere around 16% from its highs on September 1st in 2020. Now, one reason that I don't believe that this is going to last is because it simply never does. Apple is a stock that simply just seems to keep on winning. No matter what hits it, it goes through it face first, and it overcomes all of these obstacles, and then, it just continues to go up. Now, of course, not all stocks are just going to always go up. There's going to be bad news every now and then, bad press. The market's going to drop. The market's going to collapse. It is just what it is. Stocks are going to go up and stocks are going to go down. But Apple seems to constantly continue to go up. And I have a statistic pulled up here, and that I'll kind of talk about each year and these drops that Apple has seen and how much they've recovered and how long it took them to recover. In September of 2018, Apple had hit the $1 trillion market cap, but there was an issue. With all the hype going on and the big milestone that they had just hit, investors were starting to get worried, because smartphone sales all over the world were starting to decline, and this triggered a massive sell-off in Apple. From September to December, it lost over 1/3 of its overall value. Now, the crazy thing about that is by the start of the new year, it had already gotten into recovery mode. 1 year later, it had grown 95% from where it was at the very beginning of the year to the end of the year, and that is just absolutely insane. It shows that when Apple hits a speed bump, when it it overcomes this issue, or it overcomes whatever's going on, it is going to go back stronger, and it is going to come back in full force. And that is just one of these many examples that I have of why Apple is just a stock that seems to not be phased. Even if it does get rocked a little bit, it's not going to stay down for very long. And investors like myself and long-term investors know that whenever we have these dips, take advantage of them. Because if you dollar cost average from the time that you see it dropping to the time that, maybe even a year later, in the past, it is reflected that it is almost guaranteed returns that you will be seeing. And that is why right now, of all times, with a 16% drop from September 1st, I am buying as much as I physically can. Literally every extra dollar that I have is going into Apple. But let's go ahead, let's take a look at a few more examples as to why Apple seems to just not get phased by any setbacks that it may incur. In May of 2019, the trade war between China and the US had started to heat up really bad. Donald Trump was talking about raising tariffs, and this really sparked a major sell-off of Apple because people were worried about the products and an increased margin. By the end of May of 2019, Apple has seen a drop of over 17% over a single month. Now, the reason that this is almost laughable is by the fact that September it had already fully recovered from this drop. It was soaring, just soaring way past what it had initially dropped. And then people were seeing gains of over dozens of percentages. Now, I'm not going to keep going on and on about times that it dropped and came up. But if you do go, if you want to go do the research, you will see that every time this stock has dropped, it has not been phased for very long. By the end of a 4 or 5 months period, it had already pretty much reached the high that it was initially at and started to soar past it. That's why an investor like myself, I recently increased my position to over 45 shares. Now, I know that might not be the craziest amount, but at 19 years old, you can only work with what you got. And right now, I'm just trying to work with what I got. But I'm trying to hit that 50 share mark, and I'm just constantly pumping money into Apple because I truly believe that even in a time like this where everything is so crazy, that in the long term, they are not going to be that affected. And like Charlie Munger once said, the biggest issue that you can have with compounding is interrupting it unnecessarily. I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not just going to go sell my shares. There's no point, and I feel like I'm not going to try to, capitalize on maybe selling selling it when it goes up and goes down. And no, it's just a lot. I'm putting as much money in that I possibly can right now. And that's not me saying that you guys should, but that's just how you know that this isn't me just talking out my butt here. I'm not just lying and saying, making a video for you guys. No. I'm doing this myself. I'm actually going ahead and I'm putting this money in, and I truly believe the things that I'm saying. But with that being said, let's go ahead, let's take a break, and let's wait until October 13th, whenever they're going to have this event. Let's keep a close eye on what exactly happens at this event. And I think that once again, that if they do introduce all of these things and the new iPhones are released and they talk about the 5G compatibility, that there will be a massive growth. Now, I don't know. Once again, I have no clue of actually knowing this, and this is all hypothetical, but based off the recent history, I can expect that volatility being so high that this could be very beneficial for Apple. So until then, I will see you guys soon. I want to be posting videos like these a lot more, just updating you guys on stocks that I'm interested in. It's one thing that I love about this channel, that it seems like I can just talk about the stuff that I'm interested in, and you guys tend to show me support. So I do appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.